about my opponent's argument. So first of all, my opponent defined the definition of implement, and which we affirm since I don't see there's any conflict in the debate. And second of all, my opponent state how the status quo is good because we give voters the right. To vote, and if it's possible for them to vote, then they should vote. But if it's not, then it's not the government's problem. However, this is not how the affirmative team see this issue. So they say how the election is promoting equality right now because they are given equal length of time. However, the negative team is not considering the fact of overseas, Taiwanese living overseas and college students who aren't able to travel on the election day to vote. And to extend our contention too about residential absentees. So according to Tsai 2014, there's currently 21.17% of Taiwanese who do not live in their registered household, which that means it prevents them from voting in the status quo. So the affirmative thinks this is not what we think is an equal election, because we are not caring for the people who is not able to vote in the registered household. And second of all, the young voters and Taiwanese abroad are affected because with the one-day election, the voters aren't able to come back and vote, which we think we can solve with our plan, which I'll mention later in my speech. And third of all, we also say that how voting is a habitual behavior, which starts from a young age. If right now we don't give the young voters like university students a way to vote, then even after they graduate, they won't have the habit to vote, and which will increase voter turnout in the long term. And third of all, I'll provide an additional card which says residential absentee creates unequal representation in government and policy making. So according to Brockton 18, these results will not truly represent the view of majority of Taiwanese. The result will only show the preference of the majority of those able to vote. Several million potential voters will be left out on the outside looking in. So this answer to their argument about how one person, one vote, and how people stand in line, and how the status quo promotes equality, but actually it is not true, because the NEG is ignoring the fact that there are so many people who aren't able to vote right now, and we believe the status quo is not promoting equality. Thus, the affirmative we propose our plan, which Taiwanese government should implement absentee balloting for national elections by allowing registered voters to cast ballot outside the district their household is registered in. Means we allow people to register in the district which they're not, to vote in a district which they're not registered in. It allows them to doesn't require them to travel to their district, which increase our voter turnout. And an additional card, which other measures to help decrease cost of transportation are not enough. Absentee voting is critical. So the Taiwan Young Association for Democracy and National Students Union of Taiwan raised more than 2.5 million to cover travel expenses, but a better option would be for the government to simply allow absentee balloting by allowing them to voting out of the registered district. Thus, the affirmative plan sees the disadvantage in the status quo and solves.
First negative, public examine, and affirmative. 2 minutes.
What forms of absentee balloting are you going to implement?
We are going to implement allowing voters to vote outside of the registered district.
What forms of absentee balloting?
In person, same rules apply. It's just we allow voters to vote outside of the district.
Is it early voting?
No.
Are you sure that all the people that are not in their registered domiciles don't want to go home on the election day?
This is not the problem about what they want. It's about what they can and they can't. So we're saying that absentee voters, they can't make it to their registered posts. So this is why they can't cast their ballot. and our plan provide a feasible way for them to register to vote in their living district, which doesn't require them to travel back to their registered district.
How many people will be benefited according to your plan?
According to my quote, currently there's 21.17% of Taiwanese who do not live in the registered household. So our plan will benefit those 21% of people, and also people who's living overseas.
How can you prove that you show the evidence?
Prove
Prove the data. Around 21.
here.
How the source of money?
Like my partner stated, the funding could come from like stop buying weapons from the U.S. and also there's also other alternative